Hi there, my name is Joshua Hendricks. I'm an actor who also likes to watch and review movies. And today I want to talk about The Roses. Now, The Roses is essentially about a couple who have lived a good life together, started their family, had 2 kids, and are really just trying to do the best with what they've got. And unfortunately, the degradation of their relationship takes fold due to certain events that happen over the course of the story, and essentially a battle between the two during a divorce forms. Now, the 2 leads for this, Olivia Coleman and Benedict Cumberbatch. These are 2 excellent actors who I personally have mostly seen, at least with regards to Benedict Cumberbatch, I've only really seen him in dramas. Olivia Coleman, she's had a number of comedies that she's done before, but to see these 2 together was something that was really exciting for me to see. These are 2 actors that are at the top of their game, that are really headliners for any movie. Any movie that you see either of these 2 in, I think you're going to really enjoy yourself watching. This story is loosely based off of the War of the Roses novel by Warren Adler and a remake of the 1989 film. I haven't seen those, so this is my first introduction into the story, and I gotta say I did enjoy myself. There were a lot of really interesting aspects of this film that I think I wanted to get into, but the first aspect I wanted to get into was the comedy. So our 2 leads are British, right? And Brits have their own sort of humor. It's a sort of clever based humor that really it relies more on wit to some degree. Whereas you have Andy Samberg and Kate McKinnon, who kind of contrast very interestingly, because at least in this movie, their humor is a bit more crude, a bit more situation based, and I found seeing these 2 pairs kind of riffing off of each other in certain moments in the movie to be really interesting. Both sides were funny in their own regard, but I definitely was like, okay, it feels like American and British humor are maybe not at odds with each other, but in conversations with each other. I gotta say that I think that this movie, while funny and you know, engaging and all the stuff that you want a comedy to be, it also was pretty sad. You see these 2 characters that are in the beginning very happy with each other. You know, both of them, there's a moment in time towards the beginning of the film where you see them meet each other, and it's this really fiery, very passionate, just let's do this sort of off the cuff and beginning to their relationship. And it blossoms into this, you know, decades long journey when they eventually have kids and their family takes shape. Both of them have dreams, and at one point one of them is achieving that dream and the other is sacrificing, and then it has to flip, and that creates tension and problems in the relationship. That and a whole bevy of circumstances and comedic moments lead to what's essentially a War of the Roses, right? I think that this film did a very great job of showing this sort of slow growth in animosity and slow growth and resentment between 2 individuals who at times try to communicate but aren't the most effective at doing so, and also have really incredibly strong personalities at the same time. So those 2 individuals have both very strong personalities and egos. It really comes to play very intensely over the course of this story. And I think that really got me, right? The fact that 2 individuals can really try hard to make something work, right? They try to do the good stuff. They try to talk to each other and communicate their feelings at times, and even have a therapist, you know, sort of work things out between the 2 of them, right? Try to prioritize the kids. But even then, things still pop off and things still get rough. I think the movie did a really solid job of balancing that and also the necessary humor underneath those circumstances. Because some of those circumstances can be kind of funny. You know, the embarrassing moments that Benedict Cumberbatch has, the clever, witty moments that Olivia Coleman brings to the role, the fact that there is this love and hate between these 2 characters that have known each other for decades now, right? And the fact that the other characters start seeing it and start taking note brings for some really interesting comedy. There's one moment that's like, oh, this is so painful. It's like that one sort of secondhand embarrassment, if that's possible to have with fictional characters, at a dinner table where they're across the way from each other, right? Both at the head of the table, and they have guests, and essentially they are going at each other. It makes for a really tense but also oddly humorous circumstance, right? I think the tension in that moment sort of makes the cathartic nature of laughter all the more empowering. But then they keep the intention going. They keep the intensity going. I also appreciate how this movie, like most good comedies, is sub 2 hours. The pacing felt really effective to me. I didn't ever really feel like it was dragging. I found myself midway through the movie being like, wow, these two are attempting a healthy relationship. How are we going to get to the bad stuff that I know is on the horizon? And it turns a corner and it doesn't really look back. I would say that remakes are always a bit of a touchy subject for people nowadays. And because I haven't seen the original film, I can't attest to how it holds up in that regard. I will say that based on the fact that this is based on a story called The War of the Roses, this didn't necessarily feel like a war. It felt like a loving family that starts to run into troubles and contrasting ideas of how the marriage should go, and then plummets into a skirmish that kind of happens fairly quickly. It didn't happen too quickly where I didn't buy it in the movie, but it also didn't necessarily feel like a war, which probably is the reason why they changed the title. That and the fact that it just wanted to separate itself from the original movie. So that's one thing I will say, is that I wonder if we could have spent a bit more time having them battle each other and duke it out, because it felt like a majority of this movie didn't take place with the divorce. It focused on the degradation of the marriage itself and these individuals realizing that they may not be right for each other. Or maybe they are, and they'll just figure it out. All in all, had a good time with this one. Sometimes it's nice to just not necessarily have a super deep, Oscar-winning screenplay, but just a movie that decides to have fun with itself, that has really fantastic actors who are really great at comedy, sell this story in a modern context. So I enjoy myself at The Roses. I think you will too. It's a solid movie, doesn't overstay its welcome, has a number of funny laughs. A bunch of it hits, others you could see what they were going for, but overall it comes together to make an enjoyable experience. So I had a good time, and if you watch it, I hope you do too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my review. Please leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.